Hello, this is Pastor Robert with Changing Your Globe. All right, Changing Your Globe. I've come to you once again today, and we are introducing a fresh new series that is called The Wisdom of the Heart. The Wisdom of the Heart. This is a very sensitive matter, very sensitive. As you hear it, it's an issue of the heart, and I will be going slower than my usual pace. I'm usually a fast talker, but today I want to be able to go slow. All right, and this is our first episode. Make sure you get and you watch through all the other episodes. I don't know how many episodes we're going to be shooting, but apparently this is our first episode, so you can call it episode 001, number 1. Now, as we've been sharing about changing your globe, if you've been following me in our previous recordings, you see, many years ago, I came to understand that, you see, we are in this world, all of us in our different spaces. You see, when we are born into this world, we are born as children. So in that stage, we are children, and if things are really normal, you're a child in a home and there is a parent. Sometimes it isn't normal and there are different situations, and that's sad. But ideally, let's talk about the ideal setup. Okay, that you're a child and there are parents, and from that home you either go to school, let's talk about that, or you're in a community. So there is 3 important things. A child is in a home, in a community, they go to school. Now, when we were young, they used to tell us, and after now, people are being trained till when they are waited till when they come to perhaps college and university, and perhaps beyond that, for them to be able to do things that are of importance in the world. So they are taken that as they're young, growing up, they're just children. Let's let them be, and won't do much. So there's no responsibility upon their lives. So they just have to live, and then once they get to high school, perhaps after college and university, then we can begin to give them responsibilities. Then we can begin to tell them, oh, now you're going to be a mother, a father, you're going to get a job. And there's a bit of truth in that, but also it's dangerous. Because then many of the people that are growing up in life, they just grow up. That's if even they grow, perhaps by size. All right. But here in Changing Your Globe programs, and please catch them every time you land on this, follow, watch through. We want to, bring your mind to a certain understanding that, you see, even before you get a job tomorrow at age 20, 21, whichever, or even earlier than that, because situations can be different, and you find yourself that you have to step out into the world to begin hustling, and you didn't acquire education. There's a great deal of people that are in such a state that have begun working at an early age of 13, even 12, even younger than that, which is really sad. Okay, but one doesn't have to get first in that space of a job for them to be able to do something in the world in which they are. Right away, when a person begins to be able to discern, to decide, to choose, that means that person is able, and to them is given the kind of the call. The world, whether you tell that child or not, the world around them, that's why we say the globe. The globe is that spherical place in which you are. So the globe around us, sometimes, not even sometimes, the globe around us begins to demand, begins to call on you to do something. The globe cannot wait. The world around us is not waiting. It's not waiting for you to make 30, 20 years and 40 years. Sadly, it's not. And every single day and every single week and month and year, it gets worse. With everything around us, with the wars, with this and that, and the pandemics and the other, and this, and there's so many issues going around, with broken homes, with broken societies, with conflict in nations. Okay, right now in Uganda we have issues in Congo. We have issues in Rwanda. We have issues in Somalia. We have insurgency all over Africa. We have issues with Ukraine and Russia. We have the unending going on battle and conflict in the Middle East. Now all of those things begin to put demand and a call on human life, on humanity. So it is important for one to know that, you see, wherever I am, there is a call upon my life to do something of worth, to impact the right way, positively to impact. You're a child, you are in a home, you are in a community, you are in school. That is your globe in which there is a call on you. Okay, in that space, in that capacity as a student, in that capacity as a child that is being taken care of your parents, there is that. And we'll get deeper into that at some point. But today I want to introduce our new series, which is the wisdom of the heart. The wisdom of the heart. Oh, this is powerful. The wisdom of the heart. There is the wisdom of the mind, and there is the wisdom of the heart. And if you're a Bible reader like I am, and I would advise you really to pick interest, to interest yourself in the Bible. In the Bible, I read many things, I study many things, but I tell you, I can't go a day or two without reading the Bible. All right, I am a reader. I love research. I love observing. I love listening. But man, there is something about the Bible. I call it the ancient wisdom. There is so much in that book. And if you have it, that's wonderful. If you don't have it, please try to get one. Okay, try to get one. And you can write to us, and we can guide you on which best versions you can really get. But I want to read you a portion, and I'm not going to preach today, though I'm a pastor. I want to just share life. I want to just share wisdom that is practical, and that's what we do on these programs of Changing the Globe. All right? Yes, so in Proverbs chapter number 4, and I want to read from verse 20. Proverbs 4, verse 20. Right. It says, "My son, attend to my words. Incline thine ear unto my sayings." Okay. "Let them not depart from your eyes. Keep them in the midst of your heart." Keep them in the midst of your heart. Isn't it amazing that it doesn't say, this is ancient wisdom, that it doesn't say keep it in the midst of your mind, though the mind is important, but it says keep it in the midst of your heart. For there is in this series the wisdom of the heart. What I want you to get is that there is a wisdom which impacts a man's heart, which affects a man's heart, which changes a man's heart. And this wisdom is not found in schools. This wisdom is not taught. You can't so much, yes we can, but because if that was the case, all men with degrees, all people with PhDs, everybody with master's degree, their hearts would be at the same level of their mind. But sadly, it is not the case. It is not the case. You see, we live in a world where we have many brilliant minds, but the hearts are dull. We live in a world where many minds of people are open, but their hearts are closed. We live in a world where many minds of people, they are sharp, they are sharp, they are intelligent, but their hearts are cold. And you wonder, you really wonder. You don't need to, it doesn't take rocket science for you to know that, to see that. Just look into our leadership at all levels, from the highest places of office, from presidency, go down, depending on which country you are. You go down to the local area leadership. It can be leadership in business, it can be leadership in government, it can be leadership in organizations, it can be leadership in community, it can even be leadership in religious institutions. It doesn't matter. These days it's terrible. You look into the level of leadership, and by far, most people, on average, not all, but on average, most of our people in leadership, they are somewhat, I said not all, but most people all over the world, they are somewhat educated. At least they have gained a certain level of education. Their minds have been a little bit schooled to a degree. But you look at the suffering of humanity and your heart breaks. Your heart breaks. You look into the advancements of technology. You look into the brilliance of the human mind, how the minds were able to invent all the things we have today. The internet, the airplane many years ago, how we're able to come to where we are. Every single day you'll hear this level of a new phone has come up. This level of an iPhone has come up. Every day there's new advancements. You keep on updating this and you keep on updating your software. Men are not sleeping. And that's wonderful. That's so wonderful. I love technology. I believe in technology. We have a program that's called the Smart Church and the other called the Smart Life. You'll be hearing more of these things because they go hand in hand with what we are doing over here. But while men's minds have grown to be sharp and intelligent and thinking and innovative, it is sad that as we've taken that path, the hearts of many people are grown cold. Gone. Till when did we hear of people being flown into places, into countries, and they're losing human organs? And somebody wakes up one day and they set up a business of trading human organs. What do you call that? What do you call that? What do you call it? Now, there is no education, there is no school, and sadly, to all the scholars who are there, all those that are into education system, sadly, even the nature of our education system gives no room and space, much of it, to impact the heart. Because you can't teach the heart per se, you can't have a course, but you can create environment. You can intentionally create spaces where hearts of men can be touched, can be impacted, where the humanity can come back into people. Because every single day, there is things that are taking out humanity from men. All the wars we are seeing, everything we are seeing, all the betrayals, all the divorce, the separation, the heartaches, and I tell people, do you know how many people that have lost jobs in COVID? But even before that, but even the way they are losing jobs. You see, really, nobody ever wakes up to go into a job to die from that particular job. Okay, yeah, they could be there. But we all expect that at some point you'll switch a job, you'll move from the job. But how are people even being fired from their jobs? Even the word firing itself is weird in the human ear. Firing. Should we just fire? Don't you prepare people? A guy just wakes up in the morning, goes to work, and he just told you're fired. And the man who's talking to them, he has no remorse. He feels nothing. He doesn't care whether this guy has a family or he doesn't. Even when he knows, he doesn't care. He cares less. I'm not saying when the company comes to a point and can't really, take on such a number of employees that you continue having that burden on yourself and you can't run. I understand there's a place where you have to lay off people. Yes, but how do we do it? Because there are certain things which differentiate us from just robots and machines. Thank God for AI. AI is here to stay. AI is here to keep on advancing. But let me tell you something about AI. AI is just AI. Artificial intelligence is just artificial intelligence. It can get better, it can be advanced, but it can't become human intelligence. Because you can't give a heart to a robot. You can't give a heart to a machine. The wisdom of the heart is beyond coding. The wisdom of the heart is beyond systems. The wisdom of the heart is beyond science. It is that part that shows us that we are still human. It is that can come and control your mind when your mind is thinking too much to the detriment of other people's lives. It is that can come. It is that wisdom that can come and say, hey, slow down. Hey, you're too brilliant for human lives. You're going to destroy. You've had people that say they are too brilliant. They want to control this world by killing some other people because the world is growing very fast. Soon will be too many and the resources will be less. And you're thinking, man, I've traveled countries. And you get to a space and you cruise on every side and there is nobody there. This is true. You and I can agree. Whichever country you are in, whichever city you are, there are places you can cruise miles upon miles, and on the left and the right, there is no people who's living over there. And some brilliant guys in some office somewhere, in some organization somewhere, in some state, in some country, in Europe, in the US, mostly they're in those countries. They're like, man, we need to control this world. And you're like, are you serious? The wisdom of their hearts is what humanity is calling for. And somewhat even many of us do not know. But in our lives, because we are human beings, we are calling for that kind of wisdom. We are in us, there is a demand in us without knowing. In people, in workplaces, in homes, in families, at your jobs, in schools, in the military, at the airports, wherever you are, there is a demand, there is a call of the wisdom of the heart, that which separates us to be humanity. Today, I challenge you. Begin to open up your heart. Begin to ask yourself, yes, I'm advancing in the human wisdom. I'm advancing in the human knowledge. But how am I advancing in my heart? Am I so too brilliant for the human lives? Am I so too sharp? Am I so too brilliant? You've heard this common saying that, you see, the richer they get, the more stingy they get. I have a session for that. That's for another day. That's for another day. That's for another day. But it's some of the things. How can somebody who has more than 2 houses that is constructed, who has children that are out of school, he has educated them, he's about 60, 70 years. How can he receive 100 million, name it, shillings, dollars, whatever, whichever country you earn currency you can switch? How can such a person receive huge sums of money meant for the public goods, for the people, and the man takes it for himself? He is not struggling. He's not doing that to pay debts in the bank. Not really. Some of them are not doing that. But there is a thing in them that looks at this money. It's for the poor guys, it's for the medicine in the hospitals, it's for the schools, it's for some little communities that are struggling, but he gets that whole chunk and he takes it for himself. Why? Because he lacks the wisdom of the heart. He's wise in the head, That is why he has that job. But the wisdom of the heart has denied him, or he has denied himself the wisdom of the heart. Today, create spaces. Create spaces, and this is what I'm doing right now. Creating an environment where you can be impacted, where your heart can be impacted, where the wisdom of the heart can begin to come forth. If you are a teacher, a trainer, you have people below you, whether you're employing them, you're a parent, begin to create spaces and room. How to impact the hearts of children and the hearts of people. How to create streams where the wisdom of the heart can be passed into them. Because surely this is the way we are going to change our globe. Thank you for listening.